This here is a 012 Volkswagen Golf. This is the car that we did a throttle related video on a couple weeks ago. The customer called back a couple days after we worked on it and said that the wipers didn't work after we worked on it. I don't know about that. We didn't really work in the area of the wipers, but anything's possible. Maybe we knocked something loose, maybe a fuse blew, something like that. We'll check the fuses first to see what's going on there. This is the underhood fuse box. I decided to start here because it was easier to get to than the other fuse box. This 40 amp fuse here isn't lighting. You don't consider a fuse it's not lighting a problem unless it only lights on one side. That indicates it's blown. But whatever device this protects might might have to be on in order to power up the fuse. For instance, if the lights weren't on, that fuse might not be powered up. I'm not going to investigate why it's not lighting up is what I'm saying. So all the fuses in this box light except this one. None of them seem to be blown. We'll check the under dash fuse box. See that. Okay, so all these fuses light up and none of them are blown. Guess we'll get a schematic and see what fuses specifically power the wiper system. So we go to wiring diagrams, system wiring diagrams, wiper and washer. So right here we have a underhood fuse box, fuse 19. Go look at that one real quick. These do have numbers inside the fuse area here. Volkswagen never gives you anything inside the fuse cover, well, at least not anymore. Maybe some cars, older cars or something, but you can see in there it does say fuse 18, and then that 30 amp is 19, and then there's 20, and then the numbers continue over here, 21, 22, 23. So that 19 is the one we're concerned with. No corrosion or anything on the fuse. Terminals inside there look pretty darn good, not spread out. Let's go inside the other fuse box and check those fuses. So the fuse box at the left side of the dash uses fuse 13, 36, and 41. Very dark in here. Inside this fuse box they are numbered also. In there where the fuse goes. Hard to get. You can see that it's 18, 19, 20, 21. So we're after 13, 46, and I'll have to double check on the last one. But I'm just going to pull those fuses out and take a visual inspection, look at the female part of the socket to see if it's stretched out, look for any corrosion on the fuse, any obvious problems. Visual inspection, obviously. Okay, obviously these wipers are computer controlled. I took a look at the schematic and it looks like the wiper switch on the steering column inputs to a steering column control module, and through a data bus network it communicates with a central convenience module, might be the central electric module, and that communicates with the wiper motor, which is a complex device with a communication network on it. And so I've scanned the computer system for the trouble codes, and in the engine there is secondary air injection, which I mentioned in the other video, and it also has an evap code now. They weren't concerned with fixing those when we did the throttle related trouble codes, but luckily there are no throttle related trouble codes. And as we scroll down, I'm ignoring that which is irrelevant to our diagnosis. We do have 7 faults in the central electric module, and the first one being windshield wiper motor, no signal, no communication. I guess we should have looked to see if the thing was plugged in, but I skipped that because I wasn't in that area. I never pulled the wiper cowl, and that device is underneath the wiper cowl. I guess we'll take, based on the schematic, I was hoping the fuse was blown to it or something along those lines, but obviously the fuses ain't blown. They might be missing. I still not 100% sure I checked all the right fuses because the fuse labeling system is so screwed up. But it's got a lamp for brake light, bulb, signal for activation of heated rear window. And then airbags, and then the steering wheel module has no trouble codes in it. I'm scrolled up too far here. Steering wheel module has no codes in it, so I would assume the switch is inputting to it just fine. Maybe we can look at that if diagnosis goes that far. Okay, so I had a thought before we moved on. My customer said this problem wasn't here before. Yet we have this wiper motor trouble code, and I wasn't in that area when we worked on it, so I think maybe I should open up his previous auto scan and see if it was there before. Now we're inside the central electric module, so let me open up his other auto scan. These are the trouble codes that were in it before when it was here for the throttle repair. And there's the central electric module. And as I scroll down, I got a code for brake lamp. And that's it. No wiper motor failure, so wiper motor trouble code. So maybe the customer is correct in that the problem wasn't there before. Maybe we did cause it. Maybe a fuse did blow. Maybe we did knock something unplugged. I really don't know at this point. So the wiper motor's under the wiper cowl here, and we just weren't underneath there. We didn't pull the computer out of this car. You can kind of see through those grates there. Is there a connector unplugged? Gosh, I just can't see anything. There's a harness down there. Probably can't see it with you. Ouch, don't break it. Don't break it. Oh, the wiper motor is unplugged. There it is right there. Put some light on that so you guys can see it. There it is, unplugged. I wonder if that's the harness for it, or it's almost got to be. There's nothing else in there. Oh, there it comes. Ah, that's going to be an easy fix. I'm going to plug it in and give it back to the customer. Oh, Oh, fat hands. Let's see if it works. Rear one's coming on when I do that. Front one's not. Maybe I need to clear the trouble codes. Trying to clear the trouble codes in the central electric module. And bulb for blinkers, left tail light, windshield wiper motor, driver's side no communication. I should zoom in to where you can see that. Let's clear those babies. Done, go back. Fault codes. No fault codes. Let's see if it works now. We'll cycle the key off. Cycle the key back on. Nothing. Let's see if our trouble code reoccurred. Bulb for blinkers, left tail light, another trouble code did not reoccur. I heard it click when I plugged it in. It clicked very clearly. Still plugged in. Oh. We'll do some electrical testing there. Here's our wiper motor, calls it a wiper motor control module. It has the wiper motor integrated into it. It's very simple. It just has a ground. This red and white wire goes up to fuse 19 that we checked in the underhood fuse box. And then I would assume this violet and white wire is the communication network. Let's do some quick checks here. Check power, check ground, scope the signal on the communication network maybe. See what's up here. Really hoping there was no power to it. Unplugged our connector. Really hoping there was no power to it, but we checked that fuse, so there's our check on the test light. There's our power wire. And then this one is our ground wire, so we will switch this over to power to see if it lights up. So the power wire seems good enough. The ground wire is good. Have to scope that to know. I think I'm going to check inputs on the steering wheel control module, see if the switch is inputting it, telling it to turn on or not before I get out the scope. So we're going into the steering wheel control module in order to see if the computer's seeing inputs of the switch turning on. It'd be nice if there was some bidirectional controls to turn on the wipers. Maybe we can check that. Not sure if it'd be in this module or the central electric module, but check codes. No codes in here. Measuring blocks. There's no data for me to look at the inputs. Maybe those inputs would be inside the central electric module. Normally, if you were looking for a measuring block, you would click here on the label file, and that way that would help you find the label file that you're after. And unfortunately, this label file isn't clickable. I don't know what that means because there are labels here. Maybe I should ask VAGCOM or Rostec, see what that means. But let's look for inputs from the windshield washer, windshield wiper control switch. Passenger door, left rear door, right rear door, tailgate. That one's not labeled. tailgate, heated front windshield, rear window defroster, hood lid contact switch. Oh, the hood's open. Stupid me. The wipers don't work when the hood's open. I bet you plugging this thing back in will make it work if I just close the hood. Damn it. Okay, we're back plugged in. Click. Move stuff out of the way to where closing the hood won't destroy it. Wonder if I need to clear codes. Yeah, we'll cycle the key and see what happens. Key off. Key on. And wipers. Hey! Stupid me. So what was going on here was the connector was unplugged. I really don't think it was related to us and what we did. Regardless, I'm going to take care of it for the customer at no charge. I might even admit that we might have knocked it off or something like that, but I really don't think so. How would we have got our hands in? We'd have had to pull that cover off up like we did and stick our hands in there, and there would have been no reason to for a throttle diagnosis. But regardless, customers don't want to hear you deny that you're at fault. So we're just going to probably say that we might have knocked the connector off. It was unplugged, fixed it for them at no charge. But the interesting part here is that the wipers didn't work until the hood was closed, and made me spend a little bit of time looking for the problem, because the hood was open during our diagnosis. And simply plugging in that wiper motor would have fixed it if we'd have been smart enough to close the hood. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure and like and subscribe. Check out our website at www.kansascitytdi.com. And look at what Mariah's working on here today. An old Carmen Ghia, I think it's a 67. Say hi, Mariah. That's an old classic.